Oh! Hello! Your board is my board. Enjoy life, or the lack thereof. Thank you. Hello, friends and fellow gamers. I am that Zero, your degenerate control jankety bro for the day, and we are back in some Magic the Gathering arena. We have a really exciting matchup today, going back to my classic favorite that I just can't seem to get away of, running emergency powers, but in a metagame that kind of supports it a bit more. Azorius control is kind of getting out of control, and it's real good. With the Trawler running around as the new finisher. Unfortunately, I'm really cheap, and I'm not spending rare wild cards on it, so for the time being, I'm sticking with what I know works and what I know works best, and this deck works better than it ever has. So let me share it with you. For anybody that is not familiar with how I was running this before, I will show you the new post-Theros release version of Emergency Powers. Now, this is best of two, but we are going to be taking this into the metagame challenge. So let's walk through what we're working with here. So, of course, we have emergency powers, 3 of. I've tried running with 2, and usually you can find it consistently enough, but what I like is having that third. That makes it a bit more consistent, chaining your emergency powers in the same turn so that you can more or less go infinite until you manage to hit your win con, which generally happens to be Tezzeret. If you can manage to get emergency powers out, to go off when you have Smothering Tithe, or multiple on the board at least, get a whole bunch of treasures built up, and then get a Tezzeret on the board for free, his uptick can usually just outright kill people, otherwise kill them over the course of 2 turns, because he usually just can't get dealt with quick enough. We've got 2 time wipes. I've tried running more, but realistically we have enough control that I haven't found myself needing more, but that's also because matchups have tended to be a bit slower, surprisingly. I haven't gone up against too much aggro. We'll see how it goes in the metagame challenge. I'm expecting to see some sacrifice shenanigans that'll probably mess with me a bit. Mass Manipulation, I'm running a 2 of. This has been a ton of fun, and I've really been liking it. This I was not running previously. I got a suggestion from someone to maybe have something for a mana sink, and this, as it turns out, is hilariously good because we are running the classic Teferi Time Raveler. I'm only running 3 of because I found that it's been sufficient enough, especially when we're recycling them with emergency powers. But Mass Manipulation at instant speed at the end of an opponent's turn just works out really well, and it's hilarious. Otherwise, time wipes at instant speed, also super good. We run 3 absorbs. I think this slot is up for debate. I'm not a huge fan of counter magic in general, but it does work well against some of the aggro matchups that I have had, so I do like having them in here, and we get to a point later on in the game where you just really want to have something to do with all your extra mana, so countering your opponent's plays on their turn with all the treasures you have built up to just enable you to get to that final phase of the game plan to lock out a win is really nice. So I think these could be replaced with negates potentially, but this just allows you to hit everything and get that extra life gain for those matchups where you're getting rushed down. So Teferi Time Raveler speaks for himself. If you run Azorius colors, you just kind of run Teferi. It makes sense. I recently added Thirst for Meaning. I really like having this extra card draw, and since we are running a couple of enchantments, a decent amount of them anyway, being able to discard things is going to be relatively easy. Usually don't want to be discarding Banishing Light because this is some premium removal. It's just so versatile. So there's a huge tool to this deck got. I previously ran some Glass Caskets, which obviously helped with aggro matchups, but were dead in others. Or Tribunals, which were a bit more expensive, so there was some iffiness, but this card fits in real nice. Omen of the Sea. Now, I've tried with Prophecy. I know there's a great debate between whether the new Prophecy Saga or Omen is better. Simply because of Flash, I'm liking playing Omen, because I'm allowed to keep up Absorb and still play Omen at the end of their turn, which is very nice. This replaced my... what's that card called? The Shimmer, the one that lets you look at the top 3, put a card in your hand. We could play it at instant speed with Teferi, and it just allowed us to dig decently. But this, just putting 3 cards into our hand, discarding one of these in order to have netting card advantage, works out really well. Now, these two cards, this is what we call redundancy. As anybody that's been playing Magic for a while knows, redundancy is super duper good. The early game is what used to struggle the most, and we needed to find really creative solutions to make this deck survive until we could kind of go off with some other Untitled and emergency powers. Before the last cycle, I had things like Rejuvenate in here so that I could gain 3 life, draw a card. Works out pretty well. With things like that gone, I found Charm Prince to really do the job for multiple reasons. One, you could scry into a land if you need to, and against the control matchup, he's a body, so he can smack face. Against aggro matchups, he allows you to protect Teferi on your following turn, because he's a body. Otherwise gaining life against aggro, which is great, and then we're not really using or abusing the ETB effect for exile another creature. There is definitely room if you want to. We could very easily run Agent of Treacheries in here. An old loadout happened to have it, but I found that this game plan just works out really, really well. But you'll notice that there's a lot of similarities with the Birth of Meletis. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, but also 2 mana, so same exact thing. Can help to fix our lands exactly as we need, because if we're not hitting land drops every single turn, it's a problem. But something unique here is because of the consistency this card brings, in combination with also the Charm Prince and the 2-drop of getting the scry and the draw, I am only running 23 lands in this deck, even though I care about it a ton. Previously, I'd probably run 26, 27 to ensure I'm hitting all my land drops to be able to hit everything. This allows me to run more gas, which is really, really sweet. So first, it's going to come down, get you a Plains. Make sure you hit turn 3. Perfect. Next, we're making a wall on the following turn. Perfect to protect Teferi. Fantastic. And then gaining a little bit of extra life. So it accomplishes all the same things that Charm Prince does for the most part, except that Charm Prince I feel like I should keep anyway because it is a little bit of extra aggro. I played a match recently where I actually managed to just flat out win because I just kept smacking somebody in the face with Charm Prince because control is fun. So, you know, just 10 smacks with Charm Prince. I guess that can be a game sometimes. So yeah, that works out really, really well. And over here for lands, relatively simple. So I don't have any of, I'm not sure if the Azorius Temple is actually out, but we are running a Hallowed Fountain so that things can come in untapped. And then all basic lands. Primary reason being, we want to make sure that as we're cycling through Birth of Meletis, there's very commonly planes for us to go grab. This means that every time that we hit emergency powers and things like that, or we pop a Fabled Passage, we're always able to go and get basic lands out. So I'm not running any of the Gain Life lands, anything like that. This is the only non-basic we're running so that we can abuse Fabled Passage as we keep emergency powers, cycle things back into our deck, enchantments, Fabled Passage, keep reusing them, filtering things out so we can get more and more lands on the battlefield and out of our draws. So that is the overall deck. We're going to go ahead and take this into the metagame challenge and see how it actually fares for us. I've been having a reasonable amount of luck on the ranked ladder. However, I don't play as much as I would like to, and I'm only in silver. So it doesn't really say much. I'm sure I will get to see the flaws here, but that's kind of why I want to do it. So let's go ahead and hop into the first match and see how she goes. Shake up this unsponsored G Fuel. Bah! Alright, first game. Sayoho. Yes, I would love to play first. Okay, yeah, this seems pretty good. I've got some early answers. I mean, it's relatively slow, but again, Birth of Meletis, it just makes this be a pretty playable hand. Go ahead and throw this down. We'll pop it at the end of their turn for a Plains, so we can set up for a Birth on the next turn. Boreal Grazer, nice, very nice. Yep, I will go ahead and pop this now. And Plains for me, thank you very much. Temple, yeah. Good place, good place. Probably going against Simic Ramp. And like I said before, the synergy just works out really good. So now next turn we are set up to have a wall defending our Teferi, which is great. So if they play something aggressive, okay. Yeah, very nice. They are definitely on curve for this ramp, so we are going to have to rush through some things. Luckily, we've got 2 Banishing Lights for any Nissas that come down. So that makes me feel really good. Do I want this, though? That is the real question. You know, I don't have much else going on, so I think I'm just going to Teferi, since I'm not pressured. I'm just going to actually Teferi this back up so that I can get an extra land. Just make sure that keeps happening. Get me an extra wall, get me an extra land. Should be reasonable. Now, if they have something like Questing Beast, it's going to be a little tough for us to deal with. I mean, Banishing Light, obviously, but I'm kind of expecting a Nissa here. Almost guaranteeing it. People just tend to have what they need when they're playing Annoying Simic. So. Ooh! Okay, kudos, learn something a little different.
Beats in unison with the wild.
That tells me they don't have a Nissa in hand, because why wouldn't you play it?
This will be fun to watch.
So I'm going to go ahead and hit this. Now, what do I do here? Do I let that happen? I feel like if he gets too big, he gets to start swinging, and I don't like that. I don't have much for instant speed stuff, so I'm going to go ahead and banish their Vivian and hope they don't have a second one. That way I can block out the Grazer. If they have Nissa, my Tef still dies, but that's fine. He's given us some advantage that we need, which is good, in my opinion. This looks like an easy Banishing Light target as well. So I'm going to go ahead and get that down. That way, if for some reason this gets destroyed, the Crassus just goes away, which is handy.
No, I am not.
I already played land for a turn, so I'm going to go ahead and probably do Charm Prince. That way I can go ahead and get a Scry down. I'm not pressured at all, so the Scry is really, really nice. I don't need another land because I have another Birth in hand. And honestly, I don't really need another Charm Prince. I'm not worried about it. At this point in the matchup, I think I kind of want to just find a Smothering Tithe. I'm only running 3, which I think is up for debate. I ran 4 before and found myself having too many. And with as much card draw as we have in the deck, I feel like 3 should be sufficient. I think next turn I might actually discard the Birth to Thirst, which is still a valid use of my Tef's ability. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. Oh yeah, definitely. Okay, great. So 3, is there anything we want to do? At this point, just because they're kind of getting set up for some shenanigans, I kind of want to...
I'll protect you.
So I'm going to place this down, see if they have anything crazy that I should be able to counter. I mean, I'm telegraphing really heavily that I have a counter, but that's fine. I don't care. It'll at least stagger their plays a little bit. Yep. They did not care that I had the counter. Okay. Maybe they thought I was bluffing. That's entirely plausible. Cool. That feels great. That feels absolutely wonderful.
I've got it.
So I like that I have the Tef sitting here. I can get a Banishing Light back to my hand and just utilize it again. I'm kind of debating on simply just redrawing my hand, though, to be honest. It could potentially grant them a Nissa, but I really want to get this game plan going. Let's see here. You know what? For now, let's go ahead and just keep building, thin out our deck. Maybe we can naturally find a Tithe. Since we're not being threatened at all, and we have plenty of answers, there's kind of not much of a reason for us to care about this board state. We can wait. I don't care if they start filling up their board. We're going to outpace them as soon as we're able to get our combo pieces going. So we get a Tithe, we get a Time Wipe. Ooh, Vasa, that could be a problem. So Banishing Light on her for sure. That is some advantage. Good plays. I like this deck minus the fact that it's really boring. Let's go ahead and get this down. Hopefully this will get us into a Tithe. Does not. That's unfortunate. Perhaps we can fish out this one as well, though. It's not what we're looking for. We're hoping to get the Tez for free after the Tithe. There's a Tithe. Okay, cool. So we'll be able to get this down. Great. So I'm happy to get that down first. Should we tie up their mana with that? I think I'm happy to just keep building. I'm not really too worried about it. Let's see what they can do from here. Alright. Wonderful. Give me the beginnings of this. So next turn is almost certainly going to be an emergency powers turn, which is great. It means we can start going. Banishing Light will need to happen first, though. Actually, no, it won't, because we have Tef on our own Banishing Light in order to get him. So I'm not worried about it at all. We effectively have a Banishing Light in hand because of the synergy with Teferi. So our biggest priority is searching for a Time Wipe. Preferably, we would like to Time Wipe and then Banishing Light. Actually, no, it's irrelevant. We're going to be wiping the board. Yeah, it's no problem, no. So the reason we don't really care is after the emergency powers, everything in the graveyard gets shuffled in, which means Cavalier of Thorns doesn't get them any effect for putting things on top. Normally, we're worried about them getting Nisa back, but at this point, it doesn't matter. High priority is most definitely going to be... most definitely getting the Time Wipe. Because they can start doing some serious damage on us. Yeah. Very nice. So with any luck, we can either chain into an emergency powers off of our emergency and really start going off. If we can get up enough tokens, we're going to be looking very good. So we're going to get a land to happen anyway. So on the off chance we get a Fabled Passage to thin out our deck, I'm going to go ahead and do this first. They don't have much for counter magic, so we should be safe to just go off on them. We got our Time Wipe, so that is absolutely beautiful. Let's go ahead and get a Temple out, I suppose, just to get us an extra blocker. Yep, sure. We'll go ahead and do that. So we will do this. We will go ahead and get our Time Wipe. Auto pay. Yep. Now, I'm intentionally doing it this way because that means that the Hydrate Krasis, when it goes to the graveyard, he can't get back with the Cavalier. Oh, I suppose he gets it back anyway. I didn't realize that he sees itself. So, yeah, they get everything in the graveyard from that. Fair enough. Still pretty alright, though. I don't mind them getting some extra plays and such.
That's more like it.
Granted, I'm sure off the redraw they were able to get another Nisa. But that's pretty fine, I think. I still have an Absorb sitting because of all these treasures. They do have the Thassa, which is unfortunate, but I'm definitely okay with it. I'm going to go ahead and pass turn. We've got the counter up, and if we don't need it, we can Thirst for Meaning, so either way we are looking good. We've got plenty of these lands that we don't need that we can discard. So we are in a pretty good spot. Next priority is getting down another Tithe, though. We need to start stacking up multiple, so that when we hit another emergency powers, it is almost certainly a win. Hopefully we'll be able to get a Tez out and just one-shot him, but we will see. Or her. Can't really tell too much based on this gamer tag. Yo-ho. Yeah. Oreo. Oreo. Not Oreo. He's gonna start exiling his graveyard, sure. Just means he's not getting any of those back when we're shuffling him in, which he's probably fine with, I'd assume. But he did draw a card, which means triggers for treasures. Yep, that's fine. Not something I care too much about. I suppose I could have... Yeah, I suppose in hindsight I could have absorbed the Oro, or Euro. But it's not really a big deal, though. I'm going to go ahead and do this now. I don't really need these treasures for anything. Go ahead, hopefully get us into another tithe. Nope, but we did get an emergency powers, which is great. We're gonna get rid of the Nexus. I just don't think that I need it quite as much as anything else. Yeah, this looks a lot like a banishing light into, let's see, we have enough for emergency powers as well? Yeah, that sounds great. Let's see if he has a counter here. I would rather have this get countered, frankly, than my emergency powers. Cool. Seems good. Now we'll go and get this down and emergency powers. See if we can get a tithe out off of this. If he counters this, that would be a little sad for me. Seems almost like he's got something. I just don't know what. Okay, cool. We get the free smothering tithe off of it. Of course, the second one doesn't trigger. It didn't see the draws happen, but that's fine. Any following up will be just fine. And will get us the value, which is great. Oh, I forgot to put Castle Vantress in this deck. That needs to be a thing that happens. Yes.
Oh, I've done the hero thing before.
So, my goal here right now is because of the tithe, he can't do something like Hydroid Krasis. If he uses a Hydroid Krasis and draws a whole bunch of cards, I am going to get a whole bunch of treasures. And with each of those treasures, I will be able to cast a Mass Manipulation at instant speed and make him really sad. So let's see what he does. Okay, looks like he's just paying to avoid the treasures, which is fair. He doesn't know what I'm doing with them yet, but that's going to be a great Mass Manipulate in my turn. So I'm pretty happy to see that. I would like him to get Devotion up so I can steal Thassa and Nissa. That would make me so incredibly happy. I will take all your stuff. Good. Love it. I'd prefer if you throw down some blue stuff, though, you know? Sounds even better. Not enough to kill my Tef, which means I still get instant speed plays.
No more games.
Alright, so let's see how much we actually have going for us on this following turn. So we have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We've got 4 there, 14. 14 gets us up to 5 things. That is looking pretty beautiful. I'm excited. Are you excited? I'm excited. Okay. Oh. I mean, that seems good, but it doesn't really matter too much, to be honest. We will play the Fabled Passage so that we can filter out the deck. Get more lands out of here for now, so we have better chances of drawing our emergency powers. We will take the island, so that our birth can get us other things, and we're just simply going to pass the turn here. I will gladly take a hit, or a pretty sizable hit, just so that I can steal a lot of their things. Now the biggest thing here is if they have a negate or not, but we'll see how it goes. I'm really happy to see, okay, so Tide's coming in to lock down some of their mana. This is good. The more mana they spend now, the less odds that they'll have some to counter things when it matters. I will go at the end of their turn for it. So right now we're sitting on 1, 2. So right now we're taking 2 lands, a Hydroid, or a Hydra, rather, and a Nissa. Just what we're looking for. Throw down a big Hydroid Krasis and make my day. Please. That works. Oh yeah, draw it up, dude. Draw all of that up. Yep. Okay, and then he'll probably escape it. Oh no, he doesn't have cards in the graveyard, he can't escape it. Cavalier, good. Give me more targets to steal, please and thank you. So how many do I have? 4, that's 8, 13, yeah, 15. 5 things. Another one, huh? Dig it. Happy to see it. I hope that 2 mana isn't for a negate, but we'll see. Yep. And we'll go ahead and try this. Let's see. Am I mathing wrong? Can I get 6? Yep, 5 is plenty. Yep, I like that. Woo-hoo-hoo! Oh! Hello! Your board is my board. Enjoy life, or the lack thereof. Thank you. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and put some counters on this boy. Yep, resolve, thank you very much. That seems pretty nice. We'll go ahead and throw down another land. We'll throw down a Teferi, because why? Why would we not do such things? We'll go ahead and thirst, because I'm feeling real thirsty after this exhaustion we put in. We will decline. We will instead discard some lands. Okay. Then we will go ahead and do that. Sure. This is probably a bit unnecessary, but you know, who cares? I wanted some card draw. Let's go ahead and get a really big boy swing up in here. Oh, this feels good. This feels real good. Let it connect. I mean, it's not a kill, but I don't care. It feels really good. Feels wonderful. Oh, yes. Eat the damage. Eat it. Eat it all. Nom nom nom. Nom in your face with your own things. Alright. That was a pretty decent swing. Let's go ahead and Vanishing Light on that Thassa. Yeah, we'll just get rid of you. You don't need that anyway. Why? What are you thinking, man? Why? Why would you need that? Oh, man. I suppose I could have tapped it for mana, but... I suppose since I tapped it, I'll go ahead and get this draw to happen. Let's see. Thirst. I don't think any of these. See if we can get another Tithe or Emergency Powers. That's kind of the goal here, right? I think so. I mean, without a board clear, I'm not sure what he can do in order to clear this up. So I'm going to go ahead and drop my Charm Prince. Gives us an extra body to be swinging with, and then I can get this Scry. Oh, this is still under your control. So this does the same thing as Thassa? Oh, target creature you own, so I couldn't target it anyway. So that's fine. I will take another Mass Manipulate, because that could be the end of the game. That sounds pretty good to me. So if he can't deal with this board, I mean, he doesn't have much for this world. And he does not have a huge hand. If he... I mean, his last resort is kind of using a Hydroid Krasis to draw a bunch of cards, which just powers me up and makes him helpless, so... I did not know going into this metagame challenge that this was going to be best of 3. Oh, never mind, he's just going to win.
Always an answer.
Nice. Alright, yeah, I totally didn't notice that he's just been exiling cards. So that's fair enough, man. I only needed one turn, but kudos to you. Yeah, that's a thing. That's how you do it. Okay, so, things we want. Narset might be good. I do like Time Wipe. I think I'd like to bring in Sorcerer's Spyglass. I will bring in all of my Sorcerer's Spyglass, actually. Negates. Do I want negates? The absorbs don't matter as much because the life gain is kind of inconsequential. I don't actually think I need more than one Time Wipe. Do I want the negates? I think the negates need to happen. The negates are good. How much do I want Narset? Do I want to shut down their draws and just deny them completely? You know what? I kind of want to be not very fun to them, so let's do that. We'll make it 1 negate. This is needed for consistency purposes. You know what? Omen of the Sea could probably just go down, since I brought in Narset anyway. So I think that's probably fine. Mass Manipulate played out really good. Because of the Narsets, I probably don't need as much Thirst for Meaning. And maybe just 2 Narsets will be good. Because it's not needed against them. If they're drawing cards, they're usually helping us. So we'll see how this functions. I'm curious to see how they sideboard it out. I would assume some negates for certain. Beyond that, I don't entirely know. I have not done a ton of best of 3 in a while, so yeah, I'm happy to just sorcerers on them right away. That sounds fine. I mean, this is going to be a slow start, but it's okay. Go ahead and lock down Nisa right out of the game. Yep. And they've got the Jace, but that's pretty okay. Go ahead and hit Teferi. We'll get him ticking up right away since they don't have anything to threaten him.
Trust me, I have a plan.
Wait, once I have some combos and other answers, I can do that. Prison Reef? Yeah, sure, seems fine. Prison Reef is super annoying for our deck. Yeah, we'll go ahead and Thirst, see if we can get up to a Tithe, perhaps. Okay. Gonna get rid of you, because it doesn't matter. Emergency Powers I would like to keep around, though. So we'll just get rid of a land, an island in particular. Get this. And we'll go ahead and get another island. Just because, as I've said before, Birth can get us planes, so we will take these while we can.
Here goes nothing.
Yep. Go ahead, we're breaking even, so I'm fine. Alright, what's next on the agenda? Another Risen Reef. Very nice. Yeah, it's super annoying that it doesn't actually draw the card. It puts it in their hand. Okay. So... Yep, happy to bring this in. Go ahead and get us planes. Play that planes. Another Sorcerer Spyglass. We'll go ahead and Jace, Wielder of Mysteries. Lock that out so that strategy doesn't help them this time around. And we will go ahead and pop another one of these in there.
This up as I go.
Seems pretty good. We are no longer progressing on the Teferi, but that is quite alright. Ooh, he probably brought in Questing Beast if he's smart. So Questing Beast could screw us over a little bit. Not too worried about it, but it's still annoying nonetheless. Yep. I mean, this is all damage we're not taking, though, so Tef is just successfully absorbing damage, which feels great. Oh, they brought in Brontodon. I should have done that. That's what I'm going to do next turn. That sounds good. Because Wielder of Mysteries isn't going to do much for him for a while here. If he was smart, he would have played the Brontodon while he had a chance. I mean, the Cavalier of Thorns is really hard. He's obviously got a lot of land hits, so that is quite rough, to be honest.
I've got it.
Go ahead and just keep slowing things down. It seems pretty good. Could have bounced the birth, but it's alright. We ended up drawing another one. It's no big deal. We have plenty of lands, so we don't need to insure it. Getting extra walls would be good, because we're going to lose to Fairy right away, but next turn we can just emergency powers anyhow, so it's not the end of the world. And Nisa just gives them land ramp, or mana ramp, so it's dangerous, mind you. Definitely dangerous. We don't want it to be the thing, but it's also not the end of the world. These Risen Reefs are a problem, though, so I need to see if I can emergency powers, and then next turn hopefully get a board wipe. But this is definitely not looking good for us. It was the metagame challenge for a reason, why people are going to play the meta decks, which we are not. We're a variant of a meta deck, though, so, you know, it works. But we're here to learn, you know? Here to learn. Okay. Seems good. Yeah, we will simply play a planes and emergency powers. Get rid of what's in their hand. See what we can get. Yep. Get us a good Alta Fury back on the board. That feels pretty nice. Or do we want the Banishing Light? I think the Banishing Light is probably better. Yeah, I think I'm kind of okay with doing a Teferi. Oh, what do we want? What do we want? You know what? They probably have another Nisa in hand anyway. So I'm just going to do this. They can't put threats on the board.
Stand
so
by and watch.
Yeah, it's just not the end of the world. Do this so that hopefully next turn I can actually use his down tick. Oh no, I can't because of the reefs, but perhaps. Perhaps. Worst case, I can down tick into another Tef, and I've got enough lands that hopefully I'll be able to draw into something. Mass Manipulate's not good enough without my Tithes. Definitely reconsidering running 4 Tithes. That might be a good call. Just because it's so pivotal to the strategy to get it. It just stinks when you end up with like 3 of them in your hand. Questing beast knew that was going to happen. Very good. Yeah, this match probably isn't going to go so well for us. I mean, I'm just fueling their hand because I don't have a Tithe, which is why emergency power is not a meta thing. So, yep. Yeah, I'll just take the damage. I'm going to lose Tef regardless. So there isn't much I can really do about it.
Want me to phase you out of time?
So I could throw down a land to steal, what, 2 things, maybe? How many lands do I have? 6. Yeah, I can steal 1 thing, which just isn't good enough. What I can do, though, is I can steal their Cavalier of Thorns to block with, which might be the thing I need to do. Ooh, Smothered and Tithe. Okay, well, I guess that makes my turn easier, because that sets us up for next turn. I can take another hit pretty easily. I'm definitely alright with taking that. I think Banishing Light probably to get rid of the Cavalier. Probably? Well, let's see. Do I want the Cavalier gone, or... I think the Questing Beast is probably a bigger threat, just because I can't block him with walls. So the more of those I get out of their deck, the better. I mean, granted, they keep getting ETBs with Cavalier, but at this point, they're so overpowered on me that I can't do much about it anyhow. They're getting these Scries. They're going to have all the card advantage in the world. I need to get rid of Thassa, too. They just have so many threats. But it is what it is, you know? Okay, they tapped me. Yeah, so they'll get some damage on, which is fine. Like I said, I do have the emergency powers next turn, which will be able to do something. Probably a board wipe, but they will be able to repopulate, so this just isn't looking great. That's really nice. Nice. Yeah, good game. Good game, man. Fair enough. Didn't have the counter spell, and he was queued up for it with all the mana in the world. Realistically, I should have never named with the Spyglass. I should have just prioritized getting rid of Nisa, because really, she's broken because of her passive. So, yeah, that was a really exciting first game. Oh, it's only one loss on these. That's really unfortunate. Alright. Well, you know what? The standard metagame seems to not be the place for a filthy casual like myself, so let's go ahead and take this right back into my standard here. Oh, actually, no, we need Castle Vantress or 2 in our deck, so let's do that. Okay, I only own 1 castle, so that's going to have to be good enough. We will get rid of an island. Do we want to, though? Yeah, we'll get rid of an island, that's fine. Like I said before, I want to keep as many planes as I can. As you saw in that last matchup, though, we were getting plenty of lands, only running 23, and that's just the nature of the consistency that we have baked in. So, standard ranked. You know what? I think I am going to do some traditional still. Of all my variants of emergency powers. But we're going to stick with this one for now. I do have an alternate one that instead of running Tezzeret as a win con, I throw in Ginger Brutes and all that glitters just because I think it sounds funny. It's like a, you know, it's a poor man's janky version of the Trawler. So instead of just simply saying emergency powers, swing with Trawler, I can say emergency powers, make a bunch of treasures, make a 1/1 unblockable, and have power and toughness equal to the treasures that I control. So, yeah, I have not actually played that variant yet, but we'll have to try some of that jank. Let me know if you would like to see that. Again, it's not going to be much different gameplay than this, other than the turn that wins. See, now, things are normally consistent, except for this. This is just plain bad. Like, ugh. This is the worst hand I've drawn with this deck. We'll get rid of you. Wow, okay. You know, I talk about how consistent this deck can be with only 23 lands, and then we get none of this stuff. I mean, we can't go down any further, right? So we're going to get rid of that. Mass manipulation, I guess, goes away. This is just going to be a tough sell. It's going to be really, really tough. But whatever. Hopefully we can manage to get a plains. If we get a plains, we're looking good. Like, I don't care what deck we're going against, we're probably doing okay. Yeah, if we get a plains, we're fine, I think. Yep, they think we're mono blue, for sure. Which makes them probably pretty confident, as they should be, since I'm down to 5. It's mono blue. Oh! Elementals. Alright. Kudos to you for being cool, man. Alright, so we're going to do this, and we're going to Charm Prince. Go ahead, and I should gain the life, but I'm going to scry the 2. I think the riskier play is going to make more sense here. Living on the edge is going to be more worthwhile. If they have another creeping, I'm in trouble. Because that's a lot of damage getting pushed through, but at least I can block things out. Risk factor, I mean, I have to take the damage. I can't just give them free card draw. It's not cool. Let's see if this Charm Prince detours them enough. This is why it's in the deck for instances like this. I mean, if they swing, I'll trade either of those into my Charm Prince. 100%. No question. Absolutely taking that trade. I am happy to do so. Got nothing else to play phase 2. Cool. And now I have this going into it. Which gives me a blocker next turn, which I'm really happy about, so... Wonderful. And then we have a time wipe queued up when we need it. So if things get out of hand, we will have that set up. This will gain us some life, which the Charm Prince did not. I mean, it effectively did. It got us 2 life back, and potentially more over time by taking care of the Scorch Spitter, so good enough life game for me, while scrying too. Value. That's what we call that. This feels like it very well might be worth time wiping right away. To time wipe or not to time wipe? You know what? I've got this as a follow-up on the next turn, so I kind of think I just time wipe here. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I don't have an answer if he throws down a Chandra, which is a big possibility, isn't it? Yeah, so time wipe's gonna have to happen. I can't let that stay on the board. I'm too weak to let them have a board state. We have to really get lucky with this Omen of the Sea in our next draw. because we are very much on the ropes, especially with them searching for card draw with Risk Factor. Risk Factor becomes really good if we can get a Tithe on the board. I think I just have to die. Yeah, going down by 4 is probably just a bad call. For a Spitter, that's fine. Into life, that helps. We have to banish this. We can't be taking any more damage. So it needs to happen. And we will Omen this. See what we can get. Charm Prince. I like the land a little bit. I do like the land a lot. Yeah, and the Charm Prince is really, really good in this matchup. So guaranteeing the land off the Omen of the Sea into my Charm Prince. That is really rough. That is why we Charm Prince, though. So next turn it means they shouldn't be able to kill us, fortunately. I can do this into the Devil's Scry. We're going to gain the life. Now they need some pretty good top decks to kill us, which is not impossible by any stretch of the imagination. Oh, the Scorch Spitter does it. Are you kidding me? Really? Alright, nice. Fair enough, man. I mean, just top decks will top deck, I suppose, right? Well, we need a really good top deck now, too. That is only down to 1, right? Yeah. Alright, we will go ahead and pop this, see if we can manage to get another time wipe. Nope. Nope. Not good enough. Does another Charm Prince do it? I think we technically live, maybe? Wait, is that... Yeah, technically we survive with 1. We still need to draw. Yeah, this is fun. Staying alive, staying alive.
Let's slow this down.
Staying alive.
I've done the hero thing before.
That will work, Captain. Omen of the Sea. All this gas. All this gas. Yep, that's needed. Would be nice if I had another land to go with it, but that's alright. Did you top deck the win? Because it doesn't take much. Yep. Yep. I mean, we were on our back leg the whole time. Not much else we could do there. Let's see what our sideboard has to offer us here. Game? Load? Maybe? Please? Mayhaps? Definitely playing at a time wipe. We don't need any of those. Glass Caskets seem pretty appropriate to get rid of their early game. So yes. All these look pretty good. Absorb actually seems pretty legit here. I think getting rid of the Thirst is appropriate. We still want some of these. Mass Manipulations don't actually feel very good in this matchup at all. Yeah, and we'll get rid of some of these Thirsts. Honestly, Banishing Light is also pretty bad, right? Especially since Glass Casket just hits anything that we want to hit. So I think we just drop down at least one of those. I don't know what else they could be pulling in, though. I mean, they could have Evolving Wilds. They could be pulling in Domri or something. So I want to keep some of these just because I don't know how they're sideboarding out. So I'm pretty happy with this. See how this goes. Twice. He could have also just not changed his deck much since it worked out very well against us. We'll see if this matchup goes a little more favorably. This is really land heavy, but we could flood, but we are guaranteed to have something, so yeah, you know what, I'm going to keep it. I have a guaranteed blocker, I have a guaranteed answer. It's something. It's something which could be worse. And now we have another answer. We definitely have plenty of lands. We will not be missing land drops, that's for certain. Okay. I didn't even consider that they were a Cavalcade deck, because it just never came up. And it normally does. Yeah, let's disrupt some tempo. I like that. Slow them down a bit.
Show remorse.
Let's slow things down.
Cool. Tempo plays are fun, especially when we have defender to block with. Yep, seems good to me. Go ahead.
Don't worry. I got
Do that, and just in case they have a Scorcher for next turn, we are definitely just going to put a Banishing Light right on that Cavalcade. This is why I grabbed the, left the Banishing Lights in, because I didn't know if they had some sort of tech. It's very easy to put tech in that works in this deck. I mean, heck, they could be throwing in Clothis, or however you pronounce it, the Gruul God, which is scary AF, bro. Okay. Awkward. Alright, so
That's
what is
more
this?
like
Converted mana costs 3 or less, so it doesn't get hit by that. We will drop this to filter our deck. So, filter some out of our deck. We'll do this to get another blocker. Also thin our deck. And then we will get our draw. Could have done this at instant speed, but it is what it is. We will take the emergency powers, even though we don't have the Tithe yet. Even though this has the flash, like even if it was sorcery speed, I think I'd still run it. It's just very good value. It feels good every time you play it. I would debate running it if it costed 3 with flash. So at 2 with flash, it's a no-brainer in my eyes. Yeah, yep, that's why we got rid of the Cavalcade. We are prepared for your shenanigans. 100%. I mean, that's really good. I cannot do much against you. That is exceptionally good. Fair enough. Yeah. That's a thing you can do. I mean, you're going everybody at Tefs. Bye, Tefs. Have a nice day. Not much I can do there. Charm Prince. That seems pretty good. Now we will get this down. We'll get this down. They might be running some Enchant Hate. I would like to do this so that I can get something like a Tithe. That is going to be great. I don't think it's worth using a Glass Casket just to deter him from attacking, or just to reduce a +1, essentially, on this. Because I don't think he's going to be swinging with these 3 unless he could take care of Charm Prince, which is plausible, I suppose, but... Okay. Oh. Okay. I like it. I like it. This is a little bit less typical, so I'm happy to see. I mean, heck, this guy's not very typical, so that I'm happy to see too. Really. Yeah, I mean, that's a lot of damage coming through for sure. Do I allow that through? I think I need to kill something. I don't want him to resurrect this with one of the other things, so... Yeah, we're gonna do that. So I don't want the Scampering Scorcher to die, because if he has the Kinfolk, whatever it is, the 1/2 haster that lets him resurrect something, an elemental, I do not want the Scorcher coming back. So I will just Glass Casket on my next turn next to the Smothering Tithe and be pretty happy with that turn. Getting a little bit of life gain to nullify this guy, and I can start nuking out some of my... do I want to do this? Yeah, sure. I'll check what's under the Tithe. Just so we can queue up for that turn. Tef is not going to be good enough, I don't think. Not that it matters, we are very likely just going to emergency powers on the following turn, but... So, yeah. This is a pretty easy turn for us, obviously. Go ahead and Glass Casket on the Creeper, since that's where most of their power is coming from. Knocks off 2 power off of him, and then 2 power total off the other 2 elementals. So that's pretty good. And we will do this. If they decide to start drawing cards with... we will just let them get card draw at this point. If they do things like... Risk Factor, we obviously just give them the draws. Yeah, that allows elementals to get +2, so that is very nice. Woo, that is terrifying. Okay, definitely sacrificing some things here. We are just banking on an emergency powers into a board wipe. That is the only thing we can do. This obviously can't stand, damage-wise. Luckily, she can't do much on her own. So if we can get the board wipe, we're looking okay, unless he's got another Scampering Scorcher, at which case we probably just lose, so... yeah. Yeah, will emergency powers. Which I'm sure he's happy to see, since he gets a full hand, but... hopefully it works out in our favor, but it seems unlikely, I think. Okay, seeing the Tez is nice, I just don't know if it's going to be good enough. It does stall some turns, but he's still going to be in a really good spot. Luckily, we can kill 2 of his things he's swinging with, but he almost certainly has a Scampering Scorcher, so... we do have enough. Do we risk the Thirst to try to get the board wipe? You know what? I kind of feel like we have to go big in order to make it happen, right? Actually, we could just Charm Prince and gain life.
That is the sound of your demand.
In order to detour some more attacks. I think that's the safe play here. And then next turn we can Thirst. I like that a lot more. Just to make sure that when he powers through, he's not gaining quite as much as he wants to. We will try to fix our draws, though. That seems like a good idea. I think 23 is a pretty reasonable health pool since we have things on the board. So we'll go ahead and do this now. Oh, that is a nice scry. Get those lands out of here. Beautiful. Alright, we will go ahead and pass now. I don't want to burn all my treasures because next turn that's a lot of life gain for my Tez. My other hope is that Tez just attracts a lot of attention now. So if he's swinging with the Brawler, it'll go at Tez instead. And I can choose if he dies or not, which is nice. Unless they have something up their sleeve, which, you know, in a full hand, they probably do. Okay, that's fine. It's not doing much more damage. It's all just... okay. Also fine. Unless they have haste. Do you have a Perforos to drop on me? Potentially bump the mana, but... right now I'm not too threatened. It just doesn't matter much. Only one attack can get through, which means Tez gets to live at 5, and we're just going to continue going up more and more. And then hopefully with Thirst, we are looking good. Deals damage. Ooh, okay, that is nice. That is really nice. Good call. Pro plays from opponent.
Call my fists Pyromaster and Firebrand.
Chandra proving to be a little bit more versatile. Well, the young Pyromancer, the novice Pyromancer that is, proving to be a little bit more utilitarian than we normally think. Yeah, give me the treasure. Maybe. They're like, ah, he's got 8. I may as well just give him another one, right? Yeah, just give me another one. Got 2 islands to discard with Thirst, which means odds of hitting another emergency power is pretty high. Which means we could potentially just chain for the win next turn if he doesn't get the kill on us, which he's swinging for a lot of damage, but I don't think it's enough, especially because he can't pump with Chandra anymore. You are going to swing, right? Yeah, that's not enough, though, is it? Oh, yeah, it is. So do I do this? I think I do on the off chance I see if I can get an answer. I don't think I have much that I can answer with. Raise and Borrow would probably go good in this deck, just to have as an emergency. Okay. Yeah, we weren't able to get it, but that's alright. If we can manage to get into emergency powers, we're looking okay. Otherwise, next turn we just die, right? Yeah, next turn we just die without an answer. What's that my boy Merchant says? Magic is easy. Magic's easy. Draw what you want. Oh, and getting safely back onto the board feels good. Let's thin out our deck, getting in other planes. Alright. We obviously are out of gas, which feels bad. He's still got a full hand, which means he's probably got a bunch going on here. But, oh well. Does he not have much? I mean, his plays are probably really cheap. He can bump up some extra mana here. Cost 1, so he can net 3. That's a weak play. I mean, it's something, but it's a pretty weak play. Which I'm happy to see. Is he sitting on a bunch of lands too? Because that would be swell. Draw. Yes. Yes. Pay your taxes. Pay your taxes. Oh, man. I forgot how long best of 3 goes.
It's elemental, dear. What's your name?
Okay. Oh, right. He's plus. Okay. So we have a blocker. So that's technically something. He can bump it up to get through us for damage, but at least we have 2 tithes, so if we start drawing cards and we can manage to get to emergency powers, we almost certainly just win. So, you know, there's a chance. Plus, we have almost double the life he does, so looking pretty good. D. Weiss. You gotta have bigger plays than that turn, my dude. Now, if this was the other Chandra, I would be much more threatened, but this one on its own, if you don't have a board, is just kind of blah. I mean, granted, if he has... There's nothing too expensive in his hand. Because remember, Chandra represents 2 extra mana if he needs it. Yep, Scapegoat Scorcher. Cool. Some damage. This is gonna hurt a lot. A lot. Yep, that's kind of what I was worried about. I'm not dead yet. But I'm 1 turn away, so I have to get a good top deck here. Need another board clear / emergency powers to win. I think I would actually prefer emergency powers, to be honest. Okay. Last turn, card of the cards. Card of the cards! Heart of the cards, come to me, please. Oh, no. Good game. Good game. Oh, man. Fair enough. It was cool. I like that I actually got to go against a different type of deck. That was really neat. That was fun. Alright, well, I guess that's going to do it for us. Unfortunately, we weren't able to get a win with this new deck, but I also haven't used it too much, so we're going to do a little bit of tweaking, see what we can do, get the sideboard a bit better as well, because I do think it's going to be really good for best of 3 once I get some more cards unlocked, and also just tweak it a little bit more. So, as always, thank you so much for hanging out with me. Any questions, comments, rude remarks, please leave them down in the comments below. I would love to have some conversations with you beautiful people. That's really why I do this. I want to have conversations with cool people. Ultimately, I want to be doing streaming because I want to just be able to talk to people and just engage while I'm doing something that I enjoy. So, not doing this for money or anything like that. It's just a hobby that I want to get into, and creating these videos is kind of my gateway for that. So I need feedback from people to make my videos better, know which way that I should be, directing my energies, should I be getting new webcam? Audio needs to sound better, different style of editing, different types of videos. Obviously, I'm spread out quite a bit right now between Destiny, Magic, as well as some VR stuff. So any feedback people have really greatly will improve my content. I will take everything to heart. So please, please let me know. I'd really appreciate it. That is the best thing you can do for me. And of course, likes and shares are extremely helpful as well. As many eyes on my videos as I can get is, yeah, it's just glorious. So thank you so much again, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week. Thank you. Until next time. Zero out.
Smell your fear.